This is it, the start of the end of the season. First day of 4 days of racing. I am at American Long Course getting ready to do the 100 breast. 50 breast is tomorrow. Today I am seated third with a 1:03.7. Let's get in there and see if I can do better than that. Come on. Here I am in lane 4, and I thought the start and pull out were good in the moment, and then I went back and I looked at my 1:03.7 race, and this time in this race I just didn't get to the 15-meter mark as well as quickly. Take a look at the left hand and what it's doing. It's coming upwards before it's turning back down, creating like a chopping motion. It's reverting back to an old habit that I had. The right arm is actually doing pretty well. This first 50, a little bit too dependent on the arms. Only 16 strokes, but I had no easy speed. I was out in 30.21. The turn was good, the pullout was good, and I tried being conservative on the first few strokes, but I didn't have enough leg still at this point. And you can see my hips, you can see how low they are. And right about now I'm going, oh shoot, I need more leg because my arms are starting to tighten up. And so the tempo, I'm turning up the tempo, try to get to that wall as quickly as I can. But on the last 3 or 4 strokes, you can see how I'm going to shorten up a bit, just trying to get to the wall before everything shuts down. (1:04.33) and 30.2 on that first 50. Oh, that is just eating at me big time. It was, and man, it was a weird race. The best way I can describe it is, you know how sometimes that first race of the season that you have after being out of racing for 6, 7, 8 weeks, and you're behind the blocks and you're going, wait, what am I doing? What is this? How do I do this? Where am I? Like that's the best way I can describe it. It was like mentally and physically, I was just not there. I don't know. Which is really weird because my warm-up was awesome. One of my best ever. The times were great, felt great, and but what I did was I went back and I looked at the video of me going 1:03.7, compared it to this one, and I went back and looked at my notes from 1:03.7 and this one. And by the way, again, you got to keep notes, you got to keep video. If you don't do that, then if I didn't do that, I would be going into finals tonight just going, well, I hope this goes better. I don't know. And that's not what you want to do, right? So because I had all that, I was able to learn 2 things that I got to fix tonight. One, today's race, I reverted back to my old stroke where I was higher, getting the arms up higher. And that is not what I've been working on the last few months. I've been working on keeping the arms lower and sliding them through quickly. And in fact, a couple strokes in the race, I remember thinking, man, I'm up so high. This is awesome. Like, woohoo, let's keep doing this. No, that is not what I should have been doing. And then because I was focused on getting up, I wasn't really focused on my legs until about the 75 or 80 when my arms started to shut down. And I remember when I went 1:03.7, I was focused on my kick start to finish. So I've got to do that tonight. Those 2 things, and I can go under 104 for sure. I should be able to go 104.33, drop that second, just like I did when I went from 104.7 prelims to 103.7. So I just got to do that again. This whole long course season, it's like one experiment after another. I don't know. So let's see what happens this time. Come on, let's go. Okay, lane 4 again, and start, pull out, basically the same as this morning, which means strong, but just not my best. But the stroke, much better than this morning. You can see the arms, especially the left arm, they're doing what they should. They're sliding through just underneath the surface, getting out there quick. The head drive is good, but the hips still too low. I was really focused on my kick from first stroke to last stroke, and you can see how it's stronger, especially you'll see it on the second 50. This first 50, exact same as this morning, 16 strokes, 30.21. Coming home, I was way too conservative because of what happened this morning, and I was worried about dying again. And I didn't account for the fact that my kicks were doing way more of the work than they were this morning, and I started picking up my tempo too late, way too late. Ideally, you want to take
You want to take it to the point where you're just as you're finishing your last stroke into the wall, that's when you're starting to tighten up. You've exhausted everything and you've hit it just right, and I didn't do that.
$104.92. Like, I couldn't talk to y'all last night after that. I was just so pissed. I'm still really pissed. Because I did what I needed to do. I executed the way I planned on. My strokes were better. I had more kick. I got my arms right. Start was better. The pullout was better. I hate, like, it simply comes down to I didn't have, it was a bad day. Like, I hate that. I want a reason for something. Don't just tell me, just, it was a bad day. Like, I worked too damn hard to just have a bad day. But, I mean, that's all it was. Like, no matter what I did yesterday, there was no changing the outcome. Like, I just didn't have it. And I hate that answer. I fucking hate it. Well, that's not going to do me any good right now. I got to get ready for the 50. And it's really tempting to say, to get down on it and be like, I had nothing yesterday. How is this going to go any better? But here's the silver lining. If this was yards, yeah, I'd be pretty down, because when in a 100-yard breaststroke, it's just go, start to finish, basically all out. Long course breaststroke, especially for me, it's not that way. There's a lot of pacing involved. And so it's not necessarily a reflection of top end speed. So there's still a chance. Just got to get in there and see what I got. Continue this little experiment we call long course. Come on.
Here we go, lane 4. Take a look at this dive. That's a clean entry. It was nice. A little too quick into the pullout. That was my one criticism of this race. But otherwise, man, look at me go. The head drive, the hips are up, the hands are zipping forward the way they're supposed to. I was really focused on my kick after the mess I had yesterday with that. This was just a strong, powerful race start to finish.
$28.38. Finally. Thank you. Something good. Right on my best time of $28.33. After waiting around for an hour because the timing system failed. Didn't come back online for the rest of prelims. They had to go off of 3 timers watches. But hey, I'll take it. And if they're counting it, which I think they should, it's a new meet record. It beat out the previous one held by the great Andrew Wilson, 28.50. So, some good news. I'm pumped. Hoping tonight that everything is running smoothly. I'm only waiting around for like 30 minutes, and I can go even faster. Let's go.
Okay, before we hit play on this, there are 3 things I want you to notice. 1, the tension that I have in my arms. My fists are clenched. As I've said in previous videos, I feel like that tension helps me build explosiveness off the blocks. 2, the entry, not as clean as this morning, bit messy. And then 3, the shoulder shrug that every breaststroker should be doing after they do their pull down with their arms. You can see it clearer here in this video than in any other video I have put out. So let's hit play and watch for those 3 things. So the tension through the arms, you can see the fists are clenched. Bit of a messy entry there. And then watch here on this pull down, boom, right there. You see the shoulder shrug where I bring my shoulders right up into my neck. Really helps with hydrodynamics. And then from here on out, largely the same race, but a little bit more forced than this morning.
$28.72. And I know what you're saying. Man, that's a good time, especially for your age. And it's under the world record again. But you know how it is. Once you go faster, you don't want to go backwards. So, look, if I'm being totally honest, I'm starting to feel some season fatigue, meet fatigue creep in. So it's probably best that this Masters meet right now is only time finals, no prelims finals where I gotta get up, you know, in the morning, hyped up, and then refuel and napping and taking care of all that business and then doing it all again at night. It's probably best that it's just one and done. Dump all my mental and physical energy into this one swim today, 50 breast, and get it. Yesterday, in case you were wondering, I tried to make it as much of a day off as I could. I went to the club meet where I did some light activation, 500 easy, no breaststroke, just to keep this body going. And you notice I did finally change my shirt, if you were wondering why 2 days in a row I was wearing the same clothes. Anyway, here we are. We got to get this sucker officially. Let's go get this damn record. Come on.
On this dive, not as much pull on the block as I usually get. I'm not sure why. Normally my arms go back to my hips and then forward, but they just did a little bit of a pull back and then went out. Pull out, fine, but the first few strokes of this race, they were a bit rushed, and you can almost see how much I want it. I'm forcing it hard. The tempo is really good, but I'm gonna tighten up here on the last 3 or 4 strokes into the wall.
The wall, I'm like,
28.85. There's so much that wants to come out in a yelly kind of way. 1 second. Deep breath. I got this. Okay. All right. 28.85. When I saw that, yeah, I was pissed, but I took an ounce of satisfaction in thinking that I got in the world record by 1/100th of a second because I thought it was 28.86. Turns out it's 28.84, so I didn't get it by 1/100th of a second. I missed it by 1/100th of a second. Sorry, put the demons back in. Okay. And I keep saying, what happened? What happened? But we all freaking know what happened. I forced the first few strokes and I broke the cardinal rule of sprinting. You don't force the first few strokes. But even on my worst day, like with pneumonia, I should be able to go that time. It's not like my best time is 5/100ths of a second faster where you go, oh, dang it, shucks. It's 5/10ths of a second faster. And, you know, what happened was behind the blocks, I got that feeling again where my body was like, man, when are we going to be done with this? And the season fatigue was creeping in, and it didn't help that I was sitting around for an hour and 10 minutes between warm up and racing. Yeah, because they were so far off schedule. And I summoned every ounce of energy that I had, emotional, physical, all of it. And I bottled that shit up, and then I shook it like hell. When the beep went off, that happened. Oh, can't believe it. Can't believe I did that. But, you know, I think it's worth talking about why that is a cardinal rule, why it is so true that you cannot sprint start to finish, even though it's called a sprint. Because, you know, we let adrenaline get the best of us, and we think, oh man, if I don't get after this, I'm not going to get my time, and I've worked so hard for it. But when you step back and you really think about what's happening in the race, you dive in, you've got block speed. So long as you don't screw it up, you got block speed. And if you look at 250s, where in the one you sprint, you just go balls out to the 25, and in the other you relax, the time to 25 meters, yeah, it's going to be faster if you force it, but we're talking hundreds, maybe a 10th-ish. But as we all know, you then lose tenths of a second at the end of that 50 where you force it. Also, you could pick up hundredths. But when you dive in and you relax and you let that block speed do its thing, you give up hundredths in the beginning to gain tenths or more at the end. And I know that. I know it. I know it. So anyway, plan. Now I've still got one more day. I got one more race. I got the 100 tomorrow, but 100 hasn't been going my way. and my best shot at the world record is still the 50. So I'm going for the 50 split tomorrow in the 100. After I vent a little bit for a few minutes. So I will see you guys tomorrow in the race, on the blocks. See you there.
This was probably my worst start of the whole week of racing. I was taken off guard a little bit by how quick the beep went, and I still didn't get the pullback on the block that I wanted. But take a look at this stroke. It is so much prettier, nicer, smoother than yesterday's, and yet it's still very aggressive. I was really happy with how this felt, with how it looked. I paced it out really well. I was able to finish this race strong the way I wanted to.
$28.88. Oh, I got a new shirt on. You like that? Cool, huh? Go check them out, fikeswim.com. Oh, killing me. The thing is, like, it was a good race. I've watched the video now 20 times. I can't find anything wrong with it. It was a good looking race. I was patient up front, not too patient, strong at the end, but not too strong. I did everything I could. My body just wasn't having it. It was done. So, and the unfortunate thing is the way U.S. Master Swimming does their age accounting. I'm 43, even though I'm 42. So I only get one more year in this age group for long course. So I gotta get those records, and I will. I will get those records, my pretty. Oh, I'm going crazy. But no, look, okay, there's nothing really else to talk about for that 50, so let's move on. It was a great season. You know, it's hard not to focus on what has just happened and missing those records by so little. But when you look at the season, I mean, shoot, I've got 2 personal bests, first time under 104, first time under 29. I've got an American record in Masters Swimming with the 50 that shows up as 28:38, but not good enough for FINA and Masters world record. So I do have that, and I've got that meet record from ALC that was once held by Olympian Andrew Wilson. So I've got some cool accomplishments from this season, and I've capped it all off with a fun meet. I only get to do Masters meets like once a year, but I'm always reminded how much fun they are. And it is so great because people will come up to me and tell me, hey, I watch your vlog. It's really cool. Great job. And it means the world to me. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you all 12 of you who watch this vlog. But I really do. And what's even cooler is seeing Fike Swim grow, because you know, a couple years ago, I wouldn't have gone to this meet and seen probably anyone with a Fike suit or a Fike bag or a Fike shirt, and I saw several people. So yeah, we're not taking over the world, but man, it's so great. And they come up to me and they say, oh, I love this suit. It's my favorite. So it was a great season. All in all, start to finish, great season. I am so thankful now to go back to short course. And I have decided that I'm gonna put on the muscle and get back close, probably to 220. So anyway, that is it for this episode, and that's going to be it for a little while. I'm going to take a little bit of a break here, a few weeks off from vlogging. It takes a toll, and I've got a lot of work to do on the brand with business development, marketing, and product development, and all that kind of stuff. And doing this vlogging, it really eats into that. Plus, it just sometimes it feels like being in the Truman Show. Anyway, a little bit of a break there, and then we'll get back into it. I will see you guys in a few weeks. Enjoy the rest of your summer, especially if you've still got Masters Nationals. Good luck to you. I will see you next time. Good luck with your swimming. Swim different.